What's up, guys? Steven Bogren here from Pro Physique. Today I want to talk about food choices. Hey. So what's up, guys? I hope everyone's New Year's going pretty well so far. I guess. I don't know. Yeah, sweet. Good vibes, bro. So hopefully everybody's New Year's going well. You know, a lot of dieting is going on. If you're working with me, a lot of macros is going on. And so there's just stuff's happening, right? So I think that food choice is something important to talk about. And it kind of comes up for me because of a phone conversation I had just the other day. And I think that it definitely makes sense to talk about it because even though If It Fits Your Macros is known for Pop-Tarts and all that other good stuff, being able to work things into your diet, it doesn't mean that necessarily everything that is allowable is beneficial, right? So all things are available to me. However, not all things are, going to make me better. Not all things are beneficial to me. They're not going to all help me grow or become more than I am today, right? And so we can look at that in terms of like personal things, right? There's a lot of things out there that are available to me. That doesn't mean that those things are going to make me a better person, help me grow. And so I think we can kind of take that and say, all right, so food is also one of those things, right? And so when we're talking about dieting, we're typically, we're talking about a calorie deficit, eating or intaking less calories than we burn or we use. So when that calorie deficit still has a reasonable amount of calories in it, right? So if I start a diet on 2,800 calories a day, that's my starting point. It is a lot easier for me to fit some other things in, right? Pop-Tarts, beer, cookies, cake, whatever, right? Oreos. Apparently everybody's on this fucking carrot cake Oreo thing. I don't get it. It's still Oreos. But I digress about the fucking Oreos. You know what I mean? So I can fit those things in. I have plenty of room to eat those things I enjoy, but to still be within my numbers. Now, as my numbers get lower and as I diet harder and I get down to 2,400 calories, 2,200 calories, 2,000 calories, whatever the case might be, now it becomes more important for me to utilize other food sources. And let's talk about some other food sources. We're talking about green veggies, like nutrient dense, good wholesome foods, Nutrient dense is really the point here, right? Because we want to make sure that we're getting in our micronutrients. Now, you can be in a calorie excess and still have a poor nutrition if you're not getting in your micronutrients. Now, whether you're supplementing with greens and multivitamins or you're making sure that your food intake entails enough of these nutrient-dense foods to make sure your micronutrient intakes are met. Now, that's different, and you can do different things. But as we go ahead, we want to say it's important that we're eating those nutrient-dense foods, or the healthy foods, right? It's not that, unhealthy foods, right, or bad foods, and I went over this in the last video, right? There's no good or bad foods. It's not that there's anything wrong with them, but they don't necessarily meet all of our body's needs, right? We have to make sure that we are getting in all of these essential vitamins and minerals that our body needs to make sure that it performs at its best, right? Our training will not be the best it can be if we're not having a full spectrum of mineral and nutrient intake, right? Just like we're not going to perform well if we're dehydrated, right? Same thing with salt. We have to have enough sodium. We have to have enough potassium, enough magnesium. All these things are, important for healthy muscle function. So we want to make sure that we are getting those things nutritionally within our diet. If, per se, we are only eating in McDonald's and KFC and Dr. Pepper, whatever it might be, we want to be very cognizant and aware that we are most likely setting ourselves up to be in a place of malnourished tendencies, right? And so there's some things that we can see that happen as we get away from being malnourished and having poor micronutrient intakes. Energy levels become better, cognition can become better, right? Just eyesight stuff can become better. So a lot of those things that maybe we take for granted and we kind of become desensitized to in terms of how we feel and how our daily lives are going, they can start showing improvement. Just the simple fact of we might have a lot of energy spikes from simple sugars, right? Maybe now, so because of the fact that it's mixed with caffeine, our choice of carbohydrate intake, we have energy spikes and lows, right? Well, we don't tend to notice that as much until we have nice, energy across the board. So maybe that means utilizing some more complex carbohydrate sources that are going to have more fiber in them. They're going to help manage that, right? And there's still nothing wrong with having simple carbohydrates, but maybe we choose to have them before a workout or something, right? And the same thing, again, with sodiums and all of our other vitamins and minerals. So when we talk about food choice, first and foremost, we want to have those nutrient-dense foods in the diet all year round, simply because we want to be healthy, right? I can look healthy on the outside and be extremely unhealthy on the inside. It can most certainly happen. So I want to make sure that I am, in fact, giving my body what it needs to perform and to operate and to do that at its best. Now, when we get towards the end of a diet and calories are low and everything just kind of like sucks and it's a little bit harder to manage, right? At that point, it most certainly probably makes more sense for us to utilize less fun foods, less things that are calorie dense, cookies, cake, Oreos, blah, 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 whatever it might be, and go towards things that are more nutrient dense, right? More volume foods. Oh, maybe like broccoli, kale, celery, rice might be another one. Whole wheats, kind of whole wheats kind of stuff, right? Maybe like shirataki pasta, more bell peppers, those kind of things. So anything that you're going to get more bang for your buck in terms of volume, right? That can help us to feel a little bit more satiated. And it's honestly, for me, it's a big psychological thing as well, because I see more food on my plate, I feel better about it. If I'm hungrier, which I am during a diet, I am hungrier. Yeah, crazy, right? So it makes more sense for me if I look at a full plate of food and I was like, fuck yeah, like it just, it brings happiness to my soul. It warms my cold, dead little dieting heart, and it's just like, yes, this is gonna be delicious. You get all excited and your butt starts moving on and you're like, yeah, you know what I mean? So it's not even just the fact that it gives you that physical fullness feeling more so, right? Like, oh, my stomach's stretched out a little bit better, like it's just looking at it. Just simply looking at a nice big meal when you're fucking hungry, it's like, yes, right? So, and it still fits within our numbers, which is the nice part. So remember guys, it's not necessarily about simply eating like an asshole all the time. It's about making sure that we're fueling the body, that we still have health as our general rule in mind, right? As much as possible, we want to be healthy. So a lot of the times what that's going to mean is that we have to have nutrient-dense foods, or at the very least, we're supplementing for those nutrients in a way that our body can still handle and get and absorb said nutrients. So short one today, that's all I want to talk about, guys. Make sure you're paying attention to your food choices, fueling your body, treating yourself like the athlete that you are, and that's going to put you in the best place to be successful this year.